Real-time talk. Like 1450 WCTC on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at 1450 WCTC. Jersey Central with Burt Barron.
Think we could listen to the radio or something?
On the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC.
7:08, welcome to hour number 2 of Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. It's Burt Barron. Good morning to you. Our contest is coming up a little bit later on in this 7 o'clock hour for the Tickets for America and the gift card for the Frog and the Peach. We're going to give those away. 7:15, if you are watching our video simulcast at WCTCAM.com, that is when I will give you the visual clue. I will actually hold the lyric up in front of the webcam so you can get the lyric before anybody who's listening does. So I'll do that for you just about 7:15. So make sure you're logged on to our website, WCTCAM.com, and you're watching the video simulcast of the show. Well, of course, it seems like every time around this time of year, fewer blood donations, and we face critical shortages, not only here in New Jersey, but really around the entire country. Let's get some information on this. Let's go to the Jersey Central Newsmaker hotline, and we're going to give this emergency appeal out to you. With the American Red Cross Senior Vice President Cliff Numark, who was with us here this morning, joining us from Washington, D.C. to talk about this very urgent situation. Good morning, Cliff. It's Burt Barron. How are you?
Good morning, Bert. Thanks so much for letting me be on here today.
Sure. Good to have you here. And I donated blood about 3 weeks ago, and I'll share my story with you coming up. But the usual reason that I hear, Cliff, as to why the blood supply this time of year is at low levels, everybody kind of blames vacations and things like that and just people being out of town. Is that one of the reasons why we're at such a critically low level now?
Yeah, so the entire country's blood supply rests on volunteers. And volunteers who give blood, volunteers who organize blood drives, volunteers who register donors and help them at the blood drive itself. And volunteers have to do it on their own volition. And over the past couple of months, we've had 61,000 fewer donations in May and June than we'd expected. And this is compounded by what happens during the summer. To your point, people will go on vacation as well as schools are out. Schools represent about 20% of the blood that we collect overall over the course of a year. So for all those reasons, we need folks to schedule an appointment at 1-800-RED-CROSS or redcrossblood.org or download our free Red Cross Blood Donor app to schedule their appointment because it is an emergency need. Blood is going out faster than it's coming in.
Well, yeah, that's pretty scary. And if I recall seeing some statistics recently, Cliff, and maybe you have the hard figures in front of you there, it's such a small percentage of people who either are eligible to or who will bother to donate blood in the first place. I believe it's 10% or fewer of the population, and that's a number that I would like to see driven up. But it's a really low number now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 3.8% of the overall population.
Wow.
It actually gives blood every year, which is tiny if you think about it. About 40% of the folks are eligible to give. So there's lots and lots of folks who are eligible, and we just need to get the word out so folks can roll up their sleeve and literally give life to someone for a patient in need.
Talk about the blood types, Cliff, that are in high demand. I think my blood type is one that's sort of universal and is compatible with anybody. There are certain types in more demand than others, right?
Well, actually, right now, all types are needed, so that's why we encourage everyone to show up. But there are certain types that are consistently, even during the summer and other months, that are often in short supply. O negative is a universal donor. It can go to anyone. So if you're in an emergency, a trauma situation, and they don't have time to type you, they will just give you O negative blood. O positive goes to all the positive blood types. That's why it's really valuable. And A negative and B negative are also valuable blood types because they're so rare. So, but honestly, we need everyone to donate blood today. For those specific types that I mentioned, there is a special procedure called a power red procedure where you can actually give 2 units of red cells in one sitting, which is a fantastic way to give twice as much to a patient in need.
Gotcha. And there are a couple of restrictions. I don't know if it's an age thing. Your current health state is also taken into consideration if you're about to donate too, Cliff. There are just a couple of conditions that people need to know about.
That's right. They have to be in general good health. They have to be 17 years old or older, 16 years in some states, and then 110 pounds. But those are, and you can't be sick. You can't have a cold when you go and donate. So, and then there's a series of questions that we ask folks just to make sure they didn't travel to particular areas of the country, areas of the world where there may be malaria or something like that. But there are some restrictions. But in general, if you're healthy and you're 17 years old, over 110 pounds, you can give.
Yeah, and the answer that I give to people, Cliff, when I'm approached, like, oh, Bert, what's it like? Because I kind of do it here, and I promote when I'm out donating blood for various causes. And like I said, I just recently donated. People always ask me, Bert, what's it like? And I say it's 10 minutes of my time that I may use to save somebody's life. It could be somebody I know, could be myself someday. That's the answer that I give, Cliff, and it's so simple, but yet it's so important.
That's perfect. That's exactly the right answer. For an hour of your time, all in, 10 minutes in the chair, a whole hour of your time, think about the impact you can have for a hospital patient in need, whether it's a trauma patient, someone who suffers from sickle cell anemia. There are folks who literally cannot live every day without a blood transfusion, so they have to have constant transfusions in order to live. And those are the folks that you keep alive, notwithstanding the fact to be prepared in case of a massive emergency.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. That's a perfect answer, Bert.
And I always just kind of tell people as well that you just never know. It's so simple to do, and you just never know what the future holds. Or one of these days you could find yourself in an emergency situation, and you'd love to have that blood available to you. And I also try to tell people that blood comes from one source, Cliff. You don't make it in a lab. You don't make it in a test tube. It comes from kind, generous people, and that's what we have to get the word out about.
That's absolutely right. It cannot be manufactured. It's the ultimate in community service, right? We have to take care of each other, and that's
right.
really what giving blood's all about. So
That's right.
Thank you, Bert, for what you do.
Someone listening right now to us, Cliff, how do they make an appointment and kind of get the ball rolling with this?
Great. They can call 1-800-RED-CROSS or go to redcrossblood.org, or in the App Store, download the free Red Cross Blood Donor app. Any of those mechanisms, they can schedule an appointment to give the gift of life.
Good stuff. And my donation a couple of weeks ago, Cliff, was at one of the local hospitals here in New Jersey, and they incentivized it by giving away a free round of golf. So I said, well, why don't I should give blood because I'm going to do it anyway. Why don't I get a free round of golf for something that I was going to do in the first place? And if these are incentivized a little bit, I'm sure that might bring some more people to the party, if you will.
Yeah, throughout the year, there are times where certain incentives or promotions are offered to folks, and there's always lots of reasons to give and to appreciate our donors.
Good stuff. Cliff Numark, American Red Cross Senior Vice President, thank you for your time this morning, and thanks for getting the word out about this. And you're right, this is a crisis that we're facing across the country, so let's get people moving and get those sleeves rolled up, like you said.
Thank you, Bert. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, Cliff Numark, American Red Cross Senior Vice President. Again, that number, if you'd like to donate, very simple,